Hey guys, Lolbitz here, and I just finished this FNAF 2 movie for the second time a few hours ago, and I just want to say before I get into anything, I actually enjoyed watching this movie both times. That's because I'm a FNAF fan, not because it's a good movie. Was it a good movie? No, no it was not. Again, I enjoyed it because I've spent a lot of time with this franchise, seeing, oh my god, I know that on the big screen is very entertaining. You'd be surprised. But when you take off the nostalgia goggles and look at this thing as a movie, FNAF, we need to talk. Thumbnail here. So let's talk about exactly why this movie is a complete chaotic mess. What is maybe good in it, all the bad in it, and maybe how they could have made it better. Anyways, like and subscribe pretty please if you enjoy. Alright, so my first issue with this movie is the dialogue, and a bit of a simpler issue. Okay, so there's two levels of dialogue here. Either it doesn't feel like a natural human talking, or it feels weirdly casual for what's going on in the scene, and it's obviously an acting direction issue before anything. Like, it either sounds like they're narrating an audiobook or, yeah. Okay, so a perfect example of this would be Abby. Okay, so Abby's talking on the bus to these kids about what happened in the first movie, you know. Exposition dump, most likely, is the point, but it's a realistic scene, to be fair. A kid would retell this what to them is nonsense to other kids on the bus. But she doesn't read it like a kid telling a story. It's like Siri reading a creepypasta. It's like, and then the yellow bunny man got brought into the back room by my friends. It's so disjointed, it's stiff, and it really just completely kills a lot of the moments in this movie. Okay, moving on to another part of the movie, which is during the entire movie there's a big plot of the fact that there's going to be a robotic show / FazFest going on. Why? Okay, they never explain why it has started happening. FazFest it's here. They don't know why they added it, I would assume. It's either Abby went around telling everyone, and then everyone got terrified of the Freddy Fazbear coming out and murdering them, even though the point would have been they were good or something. Or this was in the first movie and they just never mentioned it, you know, just it's a daily thing, and then Henry decides to do something now. Why? Well, who knows? I mean, the teacher certainly framed it like it was something new, but why is it something new? What? No one knows. This would have been so perfect for the third movie too. Well, not perfect, but it could have worked to explain why Fazbear fights is a thing. They could have said the toy animatronics go out and kill people like they do in this movie, and then everyone telling the spooky ghost story of the murderous animatronics. It goes, I could use this for money, someone says, and then they go to the old FNAF place, they grab Springtrap and they go, you're coming with us. And that's how FazFest works. So it's making more sense making Fazbear Frights a prop up. Anyways, that's that. FazFest. It's dumb. Alright, moving on to our next issue. The puppet knowing Abby exists is not explained, right? So first of all, the puppet finds out Abby exists maybe through the Faz Talker. First of all, why does the puppet have access to the Faz Talker? What? Like, okay, did they grab this piece of merchandise, bring it from the first Freddy's and never sold, and then it just didn't break, and the puppet somehow has access to this specific Faz Talker and wants to use it? What was she sitting there during the entire first movie like, oh yes, oh I know what's happening, they're killing William. They just don't explain it. It happens. It feels like a pure plot device moment where I just went, wait, so how do we make this happen? I don't know. You know, could have been a good use for Michael because he's so useless. Unless Michael Afton was like whispering like, oh, Abby is there. Oh, who's Abby? Okay, so she's like gonna help you because she like the older new animatronics, so you can act like you're them. Dumb. Okay, so this kind of expands from the exposition dump mentioned in the dialogue in section 1, which is half this movie feels like what is a FNAF 1 movie epilogue. The pacing in this movie is wild, okay? The first half of the movie is an epilogue. Like, it flat out. It stays stuck in FNAF 1. You have Abby going like, oh my god, I want to see my friends again. Everything goes on there. It's like, imagine this is a TV show more than anything. It's like the first few episodes of a TV show, but since the pacing's so bad and it's a shorter movie, it goes from like, okay, the start of the season skips the middle of the season and gets to the end of the season. And the animatronics barely have anything to do most of the time besides Toy Chica, who is clearly the favourite here. I don't know why. Maybe the Gooners are not. Which sucks because a lot of the movie time is not even the FNAF gameplay loop. Like, at one point, Mike gets into the office. Like, he sits in the office. He has the Freddy mask behind him. And it's time to do the thing. And that is one of the most atmospheric parts. Now, you know he's not going to die because this movie is terrified of killing people. But he's scrambling for the mask, tension ramps up, Foxy comes in, everyone knows, oh, you can't get hit by the mask, you know, that's a fan knowledge right there, even if it's basic. And then, oh, it's over. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. And then that's like straight into the end of the movie, basically what happens at the ending. That was about the entire middle of the movie. It was like 10 minutes. The middle of a like 134 movie is 10 minutes. Yeah, it's big pacing issues overall. Alright, so next I'm going to move on to a mostly positive, which is the opening. The opening of the movie was done mostly really well. I'd have to say, the way they built tension, the way they made Mr. William Appleton look real scary, yeah, it was all good to be honest. A very solid opening just in general. The only issue I had with the scene was the adults, or most likely they're all parents. What adult would hear a kid screaming, someone just got kidnapped, and go, nah, you little shit, go find your mother, roughly? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, this is how they could have made it better. Charlie following William Appleton immediately out of his sense of responsibility, thinking, my dad owns this place, or at least kinda owns it, works on it. I should go help them. I should do this because I have responsibility as the daughter of Mr. Henry. So she goes back there. She does the same thing as she did in the movie. And then when she's dying, she's thinking, why did the adults not watch? Why didn't they do it? Why did I have to do it? These adults were careless. They were useless. And that's how she dies. It's same future motivation. Not a great motivation, to be fair, but still. Same future motivation. And it makes her death more meaningful without writing the adults into a really bad place. Okay, so we're going to move on to Michael Afton / William Afton motivation in the movie. So, first of all, Game Afton works for a pretty good reason. Like, he's already a sociopath. Your son dying's not going to make you that crazy unless there's something wrong. But, like, after his child gets a free lobotomy from his creation, you know, that's when stuff kind of, you know, it hits the fan, okay? It was already in them, but the bite didn't create the monster, just kind of pulled the mask off. Movie William, so far, doesn't really have this from what I'm getting. We don't have the same psychological through line, so Michael being a direct clone of Movie William, as in Movie Michael, makes him 2 layers deep into the bad writing. We never figure out really why Movie Michael decides to be emo evil man, but you know. And then Michael just decides to grab that because William's out of commission for this movie, and then deciding to go, I'ma go do that because that's my job now. So he's more just like filling in for a watered down version of Game William anyways. So instead of writing one well-written villain, we got 2 weaker copies of the original villain that are like lore black holes. Sticking on the Michael Afton is a bad character train, we have the scene, like his big scene where he's talking to Mike and Abby and Vanessa like, oh, I'm the evil man, I'm evil and I'm going to make everyone die because Father Dearest says so. So like this scene, first of all, I don't see how he's the one causing the danger. Either he has control of the toy animatronics, which is how? I don't know. Did I miss something? Did I not catch it in the movie? Why are they cooperating with him? What does he have to earn that control? Why is it not Charlie? I don't know. Like, maybe I've just missed something, but I don't see that figured out. Second of all, shouldn't it be the puppet's job to, like, do this big speech? Like, I feel like if they wanted it, it would have made more sense for... Like, he didn't need to be in this movie. He just didn't need to be. He just feels like he's meant to be William Jr., as I said. Also, something I really noticed in his breakdown scene is that he feels not threatening at all. Like, again, we just have to assume he can control the animatronics because they kind of listen to him. But he doesn't feel like a threat to the characters. He just kind of feels like a mustache-twirling Saturday morning cartoon villain. And when my best comparison for this, even when I was watching the movie for the first time, was holy shit, he feels like Matt Pat from FNAF the musical, but somehow worse. And I'm not saying Matt Pat's a bad actor, but he's obviously not a professionally paid actor. I'm not saying this is the actor's fault, but just the acting direction given to him and his purpose is so dumb. So obviously FNAF musical has issues, the movie doesn't. Like, the dialogue from Nate, it's not very natural, you know, but like, just in general, Matt Pat feels like so much more of a threat than Michael Afton ever does in the movie. Like, they even let him actually do something himself. They let him goddamn murder AJ, quote-unquote, purple guy. What they could have done in the movie is they either let him, like, instead of having Mike have the music box, Henry comes in playing it for his daughter, and then from behind him, bam, stabbed in the back by goddamn Michael Afton. That could have worked. That would have been a good way to do it. Or they have Jeremiah and get stabbed after coming in. He just goes bang straight for him mid-sentence. Like, there's things they could have done to make him threatening. That's not just, I have control of the animatronics. And even better, if they made him stab Henry, that could have made the Charlie turn on him. Like, that would have been something interesting, you know? Showing that she wasn't just a evil, spooky villain. She still had something in her, you know? That would have been cool. But no, not happening. So yeah, that's about everything I have to say on that. Okay, so moving on to when the original animatronics come back and they decide to help Happy. Now, at least I set this up with Mike going back and screaming like, if you really cared about her, you should come and help. As a fan, I actually really enjoyed the scene, not because it was really goofy, but it felt like that one SFM animation between FNAF 2 and FNAF 1 fighting come to life. But as writing, it's absurdly dumb. They should have all died there, would have made... It makes no sense, okay? Like, it's dumb. At least the one purpose it has, too, is letting William out, but like, overall, not great at all. Okay, I just want to go back to kind of like FazFest again, which is the teacher subplot. Why did it felt like the plot, to be honest, more than a subplot? Why did it exist? Why did it take so much out of the movie, right? And so, another thing is, so Toy Chica helps Abby finish her science fair project, and then she brings it in, and Mr. Asshole decides to break it, because he's an asshole. Why did Toy Chica not just say at first, oh, it'll be your science fair project from the start? Was she waiting for the teacher to be an asshole so she had the perfect excuse? This subplot wasted like a third of the movie for no payoff. It was so dumb. The only payoff was that guy getting murdered. And that was about the only thing that came out of it. One good, kind of good scene where the animatronic gets statue be scary, but besides from that, dumb. Okay, so one good credit I'll give this movie is Vanessa actually had a lot more character than before. So that was an actual bonus. Like, she's actually a character instead of a robot for the plot. Okay, that's a good job. Good job, we did stuff. On the downside, she pathologically lies and actively endangers everyone. Like, I get she should be a liar and it should be something she has to overcome. But why did she... Okay, so you got thought about that, so here's the real stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you now, Mike. And oh, she lied again. Okay. Imagine if, like, the mask didn't work. Mike would have been dead about 4 times because she withheld basic information about they could probably control the spare ones, woo, or that they weren't fully decommissioned, woo. And if she didn't know that, why did she not think about it? She's seen animatronics operate in a much more damaged state than this. Why? Like, surely she would have known that they got the goddamn remote piloting built into them too. Also, why was that built in? This isn't even on my thing to mention. Like, why did they have remote piloting? Was it in the first place? Wait, hold on. So they're prototypes. Wait, they're prototypes, but they're broken for part. What the why do the wizards exist? They're prototypes, so they're not done. But like, the point of them was they were being used for parts. I don't think they said that in the movie, but like, it doesn't make sense. Why did they not use the prototypes and they use new ones for the FNAF 1 place? Huh? This is stupid. Dumb. Dumb. Okay, so my final point in this movie is the pacing once more and how fearless this stuff is. The pacing is so slow, but it's also like a roller coaster with missing bolts. So we have a very strong opening with Charlie's death motivations, you know. Not a great motivation. I don't see how it'd be holding this far forward. I guess she's stuck in that last emotion, but still, you know. But we have the FNAF 1 movie refusing to leave the stage, and then we have the slow burn out of it, and then when it ends we go straight up. Then we slow burn at the science fair, one death happens, and then everything's happening, it's the middle of the movie, oh my god. He's in the office, he's trying to shut it all down, and then then we go back to the place, and that's about the middle of the movie. Like, the middle of the movie is like 10 minutes. I think I already mentioned this, but it's like 10 minutes long. And then they have their final scene where they're all racing down emo Afton. You're going rawr, 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 and that's about it. And you know no one's gonna die during this. They're so terrified of killing anyone. It's genuinely hurting my brain. Why do they not want to kill anyone? I get they probably want to kill someone in the third one. Please kill someone in the third one. The only one I see, only person I do see dying in the third one is maybe Vanessa, but that would kind of interfere with the story. Actual Michael Afton will probably get burned with that father of the era, so they don't want to make a forquel. Aside from that, Toy Chica gets all the attention, by the way. I don't get why. Like, I get it. That's Abby's bestest friend, but like, with her Bonnie might as well not, prototype Bonnie must be here. He might as well not exist, which is considering he was the teaser for FNAF 2. He was meant to be a cool looking guy. Also, this is a side note, because I am not doing another section in this movie, in this video, but why did Vanessa's Dreamfall scene look so bad? Like where Mr. Willie and Appleton III falls, it just looks like it's AI generated footage. This is a random aside, but it was so distracting. It was actually funnily distracting. Okay, so now for the FNAF 3, my kind of wish list, or just hoping what they kind of do. Here's what I hope they fix for FNAF 3. First of all, I hope they start actually ignoring some of the outside world. I know, actually asking for a movie to ignore what the consequences of the movie happening are. But they spent so much time actually not at the FNAF that I just want more of the actual stuff that the movie's based on, right? It's just, it doesn't really feel like a FNAF movie a lot of the time. It just feels like a movie about a goddamn drama. I get they're meant to be a part of the plot, but it's getting tiring for something that does not have that much time. Maybe if the movie was 2 hours long, I would actually justify it, but that's not getting a 2 hour budget. And they need to use all their budget they can on what they get, okay? So less of consequences of Freddy's until later in the movie. Enough of that dumb filler. And someone who's actually a good guy, as I said, needs to die. Maybe Mike, probably not. Maybe Vanessa, probably not. Most likely Henry, I'd assume. Not Abby, because she's a baby. But for once, don't give every hero plot armor. They could survive a nuclear blast at this point. Killing someone with good weight adds good weight to the danger. Instead of animatronics just running around with zero stakes, even if they kill Henry, that might kind of snap Charlie out of it, or make him realize, maybe I should blame William Appleton over there, instead of blaming the dumbass adults, even if they're dumb. And more of the movie, as I said, needs to happen inside Freddy's. And also, this would be unrealistic, and they'd probably have to use a bit of animation, but I hope Springtrap can run. These animatronics just huddling down the hall. I get you physically can't do that, it's completely practical. But I can't describe the amount of tension killed when I see Toy Bonnie waddling towards the people, just so you could walk around him in circles. He's about to get fucking looped, bro. Actually. You can just jog away. Anyways, and finally, stop leading on jump scares. Scares is crutch. I know FNAF's jump scares was a big part of the horror, but a lot of the horror the original games built was through atmosphere. Let the audience feel trapped inside the restaurant. Let it actually simmer the dread, okay? And then only strike when it's actually built up. Instead of going, woo, jump scare. Do all this, and maybe it could be a good movie. It's still hard with the plot they've built up. They need a lot of writing behind this movie, but if they do it, I hope it's done well. Because FNAF 3 is one of my favorite games, despite how the gameplay is kind of dumb. Anyways, I hope they give a better shot in the next movie as an actual movie, instead of just, guys, you know that, right? That's the guy from the Five Nights at Freddy's. Anyways, that's about it for this section. Alright, so that's everything in the video done. So yeah, I actually did enjoy the movie, but like as an actual film, as I said, it's a mess, okay? And outside of just the FNAF nostalgia. I honestly hope they change the director for FNAF 3, by the way. Now, I know she's probably not bad at everything she does, but she openly said she does not care about what critics think. Only fans. Now, critics are dumb a lot of the time, right? But that's the thing, because they look for new, unique ideas in movies and all that. Sometimes it's out of sync, but that will actually entertain you. But their criteria still has merit a lot of the time, right? When both critics and audience agree a movie is good, it's actually good. If generally critics review it well and audience not, it's a bad movie with a very interesting writing style. Okay, like they thought through it well. It's just they didn't think about the entertainment end. If critics dislike it and audience love it, it's probably an enjoyable hype movie, but it's not very like unique or interesting in that way. And if both dislike it, it's a bad movie. Okay. FNAF 2 obviously falls into the audience seemingly mostly liked it, but critics don't like it for the reason of it's not a very unique movie, right? So that's about it for that. And caring most about the fans is fine until the movie stops functioning as a movie. Even Scott said he wanted to improve after the reviews on the first one, and she quite literally said she doesn't care. Like, whatever. A movie should try to be good on its own, not just fan service. The motion picture coming to a cinema near you. Listen, I'm interested in when Iron Lung by Markiplier comes out, because that will be a movie that's sit-down horror style, and so we'll see if it worked. I hope it does, because I really have faith in that movie. And maybe the FNAF 3 movie for being set 20% sit down, if even 80%, they would actually use the potential horror made in the atmosphere of the games. Maybe, just a thought. Use the games as the actual form of the horror instead of stripping it down to jump scares. Woo! Anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know if you think the movie can be saved in the third one. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!